Hello there, everybody. It's me. I'm LJ Rich. Nice to see you all. Hope you're good. Yes, welcome, everybody, to this year's MIDI Innovation Awards. And you have the most comfortable seat in the house, your very own chair. Yes, this ceremony is online, so you can sit in your fanciest outfit from the waist up and your laziest, most comfortable, most stained clothing from the waist down. Whatever you're wearing, we're glad you've joined today, and thank you for choosing to spend your time with us. I'm LJ, as you saw, music artist and TV presenter, and it's my honor to be your host for our glittering international online event. And join us in the chat. I guarantee it's full of music nerds like us. And by saying hi, your kind greetings will cross around 8 time zones today. So why not type hello from your favorite city or where you are currently? And if you like, you can include your favorite musical instrument, your favorite general MIDI sound, or even your favorite velocity number between 0 and 127. I know you have one. Thank you also to our sponsors, MIDI Association, Music Hackspace, and NAMM. We appreciate your dedication and generosity. So, you'll likely know MIDI has been around for a while, but let's take a look at its rich history with a very special mini micro nano series. Part 1 of 2 is coming up now.
In 1985, the MMA, MIDI Manufacturers Association, was established as a nonprofit trade organization to expand, promote, and protect MIDI technology for the benefit of artists and musicians around the world. However, because there was no official place for individuals to gather and learn more about MIDI, in 2016 the MMA launched the MIDI Association. 4 years later, this public-facing, free, global, web-based community for people who create music and art with MIDI now has over 30,000 registered individuals and continues to grow. The MIDI.org website is the central information source about all aspects of MIDI technology, from vintage gear to next-generation protocols. In May 2020, the United States Library of Congress selected MIDI.org for inclusion in their Web Archives collection of Internet materials related to professional organizations for performing arts. It's an honor that they consider the MIDI website such an important part of this historical record. Due to the growing recognition of the MIDI Association, the MMA has decided to unify the two brands under the MIDI Association name. The MMA will remain the legal entity with no changes to the MMA bylaws, but the organization will do business as the MIDI Association.
Okay, so we have a suitably impressive collection of finalists coming. Thank you very much. Congratulations for getting that far. That in itself is a fantastic achievement. You should all be very, very proud of yourselves. Let's see if we can find any of you to say hello. Hello there, finalists. Can you see us? Can we see you? Can you wave to each other? Let's have a look. Bonus points if you can point to each other on the screen. That's excellent. Well done, everybody. Hello. Oh, this is kind of fun, isn't it? I feel like I'm in a party. It gives me lockdown vibes from back in the day. Hello there, finalists. Well done. Congratulations. You have been plucked out from a worthy pool of entrants by the esteemed judges. Talking of which, so we have a look and see if we can see them too. Let's see if the judges are waving hello. Thank you very much, all of you judges. I don't envy the judges one bit. There were 115 entries. That's 60% more than last year. And tonight, our 15 finalists are from 10 countries, a global celebration of talent from China to California. And so, with that, I think we're going to get over to our very first video for our very first category, for our very first awards. I can see there we've got a few amusing connections coming in because we are going all over the world. Some of these people are possibly judges, some of them are possibly entrants, and some of them might be just random people who got the link who just wanted to say hello. Whoever you are, it's a pleasure to have you along with us, and thank you very much for joining our lovely MIDI Innovation Awards. All right then, let's get going to our very, very first category. That is Artistic and Visual Project or Installation, and this is going to be a fabulous collection of entries, and perhaps we can introduce the judge from this segment. It's Yuri Suzuki. Hello there. How are you
Hello.
today? You're a MIDI legend among those of us in the know. Can you can you tell us a little bit about some of the projects you've been most proud of being involved in?
it's hard to say anyway, but obviously, like MIDI 2.0 branding was one of the great projects I involved, because I have been growing up with MIDI basically, and also all the music technologies that's highly appreciated, like opportunity, and also it seems going well. So I really, really like that project.
I must say your background is absolutely brilliant. It seems to be a celebration of analog and digital all at the same time. Do you have a favorite unit there? Don't tell the other ones.
Uh, I can't really choose actually, because I'm working with quite a lot of my respectable synthesizer companies, but I love everything really, like Moog, Roland, Yamaha, everything like my favorites. I can't really choose.
Oh my goodness, yes. It's like choosing one of your favorite meals. Well, thank you so much for doing the judging. Let's take a closer look at the finalists, shall we?
Yeah.
Oh, these are the entries. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to run some video of our entries, the finalists, and a little bit of an interview with them as well. And then we're going to come back and get a little bit more of an insight into the judging from Yuri. And we're going to do this for each of the 5 awards. So let's go with our finalist number 1. Oh, I'm not sure what happened just then. Let me go back into there.
What was the motivation for your product or like performance and installation?
So I can start. So our project, we're trying to like challenge the conventional relationship between choreography and music, because I think when I talk to Loni, she's a dancer. Like most of dancers have this problem of agency, and how usually dancers follow.
Oh, it's done it again. I've just found a slight quirk.
They choreograph based on the music. So we're trying to kind of like do it the other way. Have an interface that captures dancers' movements, so that dancers, they're able to drive a sonic environment. So that's really the main objective.
This project, the Tapis Magique, and a lot of Ermandi's work embodies that philosophy of thinking about how to use sensing and actuation as a material within the interface. And that's something that you see that there's a disconnect between other products where there's a sensor and then there's overlaid on top of it the interface.
I think the first time I went on the carpet, about 5 minutes into it, I realized, oh, I have the agency to create this. And it was so cool with Don, like his tracks, of course, he would change his tracks. So it would feel like really dark and like sinister. And then it would get happy. And then that would also reflect my choices in what I'm doing. I also think that you don't have to be a dancer to play with this. It was amazing watching the whole team jump on it because they made really amazing choreography. So it's another level of a project because regular people can make choreography on top of it.
So how you can describe it is innovative?
I think one is the fact that we have 1,800 sensor pixels, and each pixel actually has a continuous pressure data, right? So I think that's one thing why this is innovative, because it enables us to convert all of this 3D pressure sensor data into music, into sound.
Okay, we're on to the second of 3 finalists.
Hello, Gilles Sayas here. So first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for having me here. It's truly an honor, and honestly, I never expected anything like this. So why did I start creating these MIDI art pieces? So people have been experimenting with MIDI art for a few years now. It's not something that I personally invented, but I always wanted to try and do it live, because typically artists would create these drawings, these MIDI drawings in their DAW, and then play them back. But I wanted to do it live and see it appear on screen as I'm playing the notes. And that was kind of the idea. It's been on the back of my mind for a long time, but I wanted to take that and combine it with my love for video games and pixel art, which is why a lot of my MIDI art pieces are video game themed logos, stuff like that, video game characters. So that was basically the idea. As for how is it innovative? So honestly, when I started creating these, I did not think that I'm going to do something innovative here. I just wanted to have some fun with it. And I was only going to create like 1 or 2 of them, but the response was so amazing, and the video started to get millions of views and get shared by so many people. So I realized that I am exploring here something that hasn't been really explored yet, or hasn't been fully explored. And I think that people really respond to that and are enjoying it and want to see more of it. So, which is why I've done more than 30 of these pieces so far, and I'm still working on new ones. And I think that the idea of doing this live is what is probably more innovative here. I mean, I'm not the first to do that as well, but I think that other artists have only kind of scratched the surface of what is possible with live MIDI art. And I decided to really dedicate a lot of time and energy into fully exploring that and really challenging myself to take it, further and further and to see how far I can go with it.
And our last finalist for this is Leaf Secrets. And let's hear a little bit about the background behind this.
Thank you for your time, Rich. And what was the motivation for your product and the installation?
All right, thank you, Yuri. The motivation for putting together my Leaf Secrets project was a few things coming together at the same time. One was, as a musician, I was just messing with having some lights play in the lower octave at the same time. And at about the same time, some of that technology was getting some buzz in the news. I think my daughter had told me about, hey, you got to look at this device. There's these things you can hook up to plants that make sounds or make music. And I acquired one of those devices and then started like, how can I put all this together? And once I got a plant hooked up to a device that produced MIDI, and then I could create sounds, and then I could take and create the lights. Then I was like, oh, what else can I do? Found a company that made software that makes visualizations triggered by MIDI. Put that together. So, it was just a few things coming together at the same time and tying into my interests. I love music technology. Also like spending time in the outdoors with nature. So it was just a natural combo.
Just wondering how can you describe how it is innovative?
Sure. I would say part of it is I'm building on the innovation of others. So these things coming together at the right time was exciting for me. You have the innovation of like Data Gardens devices that you can hook up to plants, the maturity of Bluetooth MIDI devices that made it a lot easier for me to move things around and have some mobility for my setup, both at home and when I go into other spaces. And then some of the other software technologies, all these amazing virtual synthesizers that you can create these really lush soundscapes with, the visualization technology. So for me, I'm not a developer or a creator of these things, but the innovation that I bring is putting them together in a unique way. So, and in this case, it is allowing people to have an experience with plants that they may not have even known was possible.
Oh, wow, that was amazing. I mean, my goodness, Yuri Suzuki, your job is insane. There are incredible artists in there, and actually some people with giant hands. I was very jealous as a pianist of that person who could do like all kinds of long and strange stretches. Excellent. So, what struck you about this year's entries? Was there anything that you
Yeah,
thought, oh, hang on? Yeah.
I think just something like I was amazed about sort of like quality of craft, like because sometimes like ideas, important at the same time, like idea is going to be quite monumental, and also sometimes the result is not amazingly um, sophisticated as as like you can see as market and so on. But like because of like music technology, is like such like there's like a lot of like resources now, and also like passion for the people to like make some things really increase a lot. I just like really stunned about quality of the result, like almost like it looks like a even off the shelf product. That quality I can see as well, and also yeah, like just like that's something I cannot really imagine like 10 years ago. I think like such a like, big progress, I think.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Thanks for being part of the judging team. And we will be finding out the winners later on in the show. So, Yuri, thank you very much. It's time to
Thank
move
you.
on to our second category. That's category number 2, hardware prototypes and non commercial products. Yes, we've all got through awards number 1 together. Well done. And we do have some judges now for our awards number 2. Are we going to be able to connect them? Let's hope so. As I look out to see one judge. I think we've got a judge. Is it Kate? Yes, I think it is.
Hello.
Hello. We normally FaceTime. It's kind of weird to have such a public conversation. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. I'm coming to you all the way from Hollywood.
Lovely. And Kate, like our other judges, is a remarkable person who's done some amazing projects. My goodness, what haven't you done with MIDI? Can you tell us a little bit about your favorite project that you've worked on in recent times?
Huh. Oh my gosh. Okay. Do you know what? I mean, let's just say recent times, go back a decade. So, one of my favorite things and first things I did with Bluetooth MIDI was creating the album cover for DJ Qbert, which was Bluetooth MIDI, and I did that in a TED Talk. And it was just amazing to be able to do something that was so different to what anyone might have expected with paper, music, and MIDI. To stretch someone's mind. But I do also remember another mind-stretching thing that I did with a peculiar person, where we made giant mandalas on the floor and trees with paper flowers. And that strange person who created the music was you, at NASA Datanaut. And we did a NASA space soundscape at a music festival. And you created a
Yes.
very trippy soundscape. Yeah, people didn't need to
Oh,
be
it was
using
such
substance.
fun. Oh my goodness. Yes. Yes, it was a massive playable musical forest. The Ableton project alone was just making all the computers crash. I think there were over 200 different sounds that could be played at the same time. And people who had finished a long, hard day of dancing would just waft their way back through the forest and then press all these pieces of paper that have been designed by the fabulous artist Madhu and put together and invented by the fabulous creator Kate. And then I just kind of put some sounds together, including ones from NASA. Yes, that was fun. We should talk about this more afterwards. But first, let's have a look at our finalists for the hardware prototypes non-commercial products. I think actually this video might contain some of the entrants as well. So congratulations to all of you. You at least get a little bit of a name check here in public because my goodness, anyone that's doing creating is fine by us, aren't they? So in a minute, we're going to see our 3 finalists and a little bit of an interview with the background, which I think is quite lovely, actually. And I hope you're enjoying all of this out in YouTube land. I should pop in and see what the comments are. Do say hello. Here are the finalists. Congratulations to all of you. And let's hear a little bit more about all of them now.
DigiGirdis can all be powered via the US.
Oh my goodness, it's another strange OBS quirk. If I hit return, let me just start that again for you. Well, get to the other bit. There we go.
DigiGurdies can all be powered via the USB lead from an attached device such as an iPad. On this partly assembled front panel you can see micro switches for the keys, laser cut construction. One of the panels is actually the PCB itself, and the microcontroller can even be removed from under a cover. The key box can be detached from the main body of a device via the docking plug to create a more compact key box. When it's attached to the main body, you also have the crank feature, and I'll show you how that works. And this is based on a dynamo system. This is a gear motor acting as a dynamo.
Well, hello, John. Thank you for coming along today to the interview round of the MIDI Awards. Okay, so our first question to you is what the motivation was behind your project.
I went to see a distant relative of mine called Nigel Eaton play hurdy-gurdy in the 90s with Led Zeppelin. And until then, I'd never heard, he's actually one of the world's best players, but until then, I'd never heard of a hurdy-gurdy. And I was fascinated by it technically as well as musically, because it sounds like several instruments in one, and it has a kind of medieval sound, almost like a string version of bagpipes. When I retired, I decided to build one from a kit. They are very difficult to construct well, and if they're not done accurately, you can't actually tune them or come up with a playable instrument.
What it is that is innovative about your particular implementation of a typical hurdy-gurdy?
I built a hurdy-gurdy, which is the only reasonably good recommended kit. Hurdy-gurdy, there it is. That's the first thing I built. That's the reason it's affordable, because hurdy-gurdies are several £1,000s each, even for a mid-range basic one. This is laser cut, which means it's reasonably affordable, and it's repeatable. So an amateur can build one with reasonable chance of success. Because if you get the dimensions wrong, you're on a hiding to nothing. My initial one was 3D printed. It was actually a slim thing, and it was designed to be rolled up in a towel. You could take it on holiday with you, and it plugged into an iPhone or an iPad or an Android phone. So it was something like this. This is off the latest one. This is just the key box. And so I don't know if you can see this. The keys act on micro switches, and there's a printed circuit board which runs the whole length inside. And there is the microcontroller sits under here.
This is Protozoa, a prototyping tool for MIDI 2 from Omninote Incorporated. Protozoa is a MIDI 2 device with a USB MIDI 2 function to connect to a host computer. Application developers can send and receive MIDI 2 protocol messages to and from Protozoa and program custom functions on the Protozoa hardware. We've included 5-pin DIN connectors with a translator, so a MIDI 1 device can be used to send and receive MIDI 2 protocol messages. A CME WIDI core can be added for Bluetooth MIDI. Other expansion connectors allow hardware developers to connect their devices to take advantage of the features of Protozoa. Ultimately, the MIDI 2 source code components of the Protozoa, including MIDI CI functions, USB MIDI 2, and translators, can be incorporated into a developer's own hardware or software product. The MIDI 2 functions operate on a Raspberry Pico, an affordable and accessible platform. Protozoa is the first MIDI 2 prototyping tool from Omninote. Developers, please contact us at omninote.com to find out about getting a Protozoa for your own software or hardware development.
And let's hear a little bit more about Protozoa.
Hi, I'm Mike Kent of Ominote, and this is Protozoa, a prototyping tool for MIDI 2. We developed Protozoa to give a central platform for MIDI developers to prototype various functions of MIDI 2. The MIDI Association has been using the MIDI Workbench tool from Yamaha to test many MIDI 2 functions, but there was no MIDI 2 hardware that developers could use for testing, especially for testing MIDI messages in the Universal MIDI Packet data format. So at the core, Protozoa is a MIDI 2 device with a USB MIDI 2 function. We recognize that many developers are not so familiar with USB. With Protozoa, they can bypass like USB research and development and focus on MIDI 2 features. Application developers can send and receive MIDI 2 messages to and from the Protozoa, and they can program custom functions on the knobs and buttons and on the display. Hardware developers can access and modify the source code of the Protozoa, which is running on a Raspberry Pico. So they can test and create functions they need for their devices. They can take the MIDI 2 functions of Protozoa, including the USB technologies, and use the source code in their own products. Developers can also contribute back to the source code. This is useful as a test tool for OS companies as well. The fact that many companies will use the same shared USB technology from this will save time for everyone because many implementations will connect to the OS in the same way. So that should reduce testing time and reliability across the industry. Protozoa itself can send and receive MIDI 2 messages, but we've also included 5-pin DIN connectors with a translator so that a MIDI 1 device can be used to send and receive MIDI 2 protocol messages. You can also attach a CME MIDI core to add Bluetooth MIDI, also connected by translation. Other expansion connectors allow hardware developers to connect by UART or SPI to take advantage of the features of Protozoa. We look forward to a lot of developers using Protozoa so that we can speed MIDI 2.0's delivery to the marketplace.
Okay, this next one, we don't know if it's software or hardware or both because it's soft and hardware, the knitted keyboard. And let's hear a little bit more about the person behind the keyboard. They're all really good, aren't they?
So the knitted keyboard started from a wish of a jazz pianist. So Lyle Mays, he was a jazz pianist in the Pat Metheny group, and he wanted to have a keyboard piano made out of fabric because it's soft and you can fold it just like a piece of clothing. You can pack it in a luggage, so he can bring it anywhere for composing on the road. But no one really took that proposal until I came, to the Media Lab with a textile electronics background. I was so excited about this project because because of my background and because I've always wanted to make my own music controllers. So I took that project, but I wanted to do more than just a flexible keyboard because it already exists, right? When you think about textiles, actually such an interesting materials, because it has a nice textures, a nice ductility and nice deformability, especially when it's knitted. It's stretchy. I want to leverage that mechanical properties for new ways of gesture controls. Well, the knitted keyboard is very unique because it uses this digital knitting technology with functional fiber. So when you look at it, it's very seamless because it was knitted in one go, and the sensing component is ingrained within the fiber itself and the fabric itself. So it has conductive electrodes on every key that could act as a touch and proximity sensors through electric field sensing. It has a piezoresistive fabric integrated inside for pressure sensing, so you can do a continuous pressure modulations. It also has stretch sensors in between the keys, so you can massage the fabric to also modulate the sound. And I really put a lot of thoughts on the tactility.
Okay, my goodness. 3 more amazing things to choose from there as finalists. Kate, if you are still on the line, I'd love to hear what you thought of the entries for this award. I also love the fact that everybody who is doing this is clearly a lover of music and technology, and they can make all kinds of things sound absolutely wonderful. So what do you think of the entries this year?
I really love the breadth. Going from something old like a hurdy-gurdy and seeing what happens when that's digitized and made accessible for more people to create that, and then something as new. And I love the way you said it's hardware and software, and something as fluffy as a keyboard, and the tool. Something that's enabling people to create new MIDI devices based on MIDI 2 using a developer tool like that. So it wasn't 3 very similar things. It was 3 very different things that stretch over a whole area there that I think's, I don't know, I found that fascinating.
I think you're a proponent of invisible technology as well, aren't you? In that the way that a lot of the things that you build is about the experience of something, not just the technology.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's what in anything I do, I try to create. I love things that are really not about tech. They're about triggering emotions in other human beings, and that's what music does. And this hardware and these forms of hardware are ways that allow talented musicians to start triggering those emotions for humans in new ways.
Oh my goodness, amazing. Thank you so much for doing the judging and for joining us live. That's amazing, Kate Stone there. Well, we're going to find the winners of this award out later on in the show as well. But now it's time to get to our third category of 5. That's the software prototypes and non-commercial products. Now, this is quite exciting because a lot of this stuff is going to be things that you may not have seen or heard of. And that's going to be doubly exciting because we're going to have live interviews at the same time. So let's have a look at the entries before we chat to our judge. Hang on a second. Here we go. Here are the entries. Congratulations to all of you. Well done for getting this far. So if you see your name up there, good for you. And 3 of you are going to be announced as finalists very shortly. It's quite a lot of you in this category, isn't there? There we go. Congratulations to our 3 finalists there. And it's time now to invite our judge number 3, who's going to do more than just talk about their involvement. I think you're going to be actually interviewing people live. So first of all, it's John Ko. Hello there. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. Nice to see you.
Excellent. It's nice to see you too. I really love looking at these backgrounds that people have because all of them, to every single person so far, has got something fun and musical and interactive and the sort of thing I want to look more closely at. But John, can you tell us a little bit about something that you're really proud of being involved in?
Well, right now, I'm doing a project with a bunch of cognitive AI scientists on trying to reinvent the connection, the human AI interface. And since MIDI is about interfaces and connections, that's kind of germane. So if you imagine that we're entering into an era where bots are going to be intelligent, they're going to be conversational, they're going to be empathetic, they're going to be able to learn about us and support us in a non-dystopian, happy way. That is one of the big projects that I'm working on right now.
Oh my goodness, this is brilliant. I feel like we should just have this like a 5 or 10-hour long show, but obviously no one can sit still for that long because we all like doing stuff that makes our bodies move. So, with that in mind, thank you, John. We'll see you very shortly after a little look at our finalists, and then you're going to be interviewing them in between our little video montages. Let's start off with Photosynth. I mean, that is just a whole collection of brilliantly weird. And John, I think we're going to invite you back on and the creators of that for a little bit more of a chat. I think this is what's meant to happen anyway. I think I disappear for a little bit and we get our creators on. Hi there. Oh,
Hello.
we need you to unmute your microphone, John. You win the prize for the
Xenon.
first person so far. There we go.
Hey,
We've all done
John.
it,
Hi,
don't
Thanks,
worry.
man.
It's a real pleasure to meet you. I
You too.
just heard the description about brilliantly weird and weirdly brilliant. I've been looking forward to talking with you about interface. I'd love to know what inspired you to get started with it and what the motivation is for, being this entrepreneur of, facial control here.
Well, I wanted to expand the ways that we interact with our machines beyond just sitting and clicking, something that didn't require touch, but that was still simple and expressive, preferably a little bit fun. I work a lot with musicians with different abilities, different disabilities, and this software gives them a new way to express themselves. Hopefully empowers them to expand their range of skills. It had to be suitable for all ages and abilities. I think that was the biggest crux for this project. But I've been involved with making accessible technology for over 20 years now, so this is a logical extension of that. But it's only thanks to recent developments in machine learning, I'm sure you're very aware of, that this is even possible. So I think a touch-free interface that requires little to no training in the day of the super virus could prove useful beyond just playing music. But ultimately, this project is dedicated to my grandma who lived with blindness, who passed away very recently.
Sorry to hear that. The whole notion of democratizing access to music making and also making it available to special needs communities, but also making it available as a much more rich palette for expression it's all very exciting, and I'd love to talk with you more about this offline. But I also want to ask you, what is exactly, if you were to crystallize what the innovation here is, or the basket of innovations, how does this differ from, let's say, the current state of the art, or how does it push the current state of the art?
I mean, as far as I can tell, it's the first one of its kind, but it does have applications outside of making music. I think the way that I'm leveraging technology to kind of include the more diverse and varied audience, to kind of bring equality to musical skills, is the angle that I'm taking. But certainly it's a data play, and I think it's how to improve human machine interactions. I just hope that it does improve them and start a trend towards sort of natural instinct interfaces that piggyback on your regular abilities and give them new superpowers, rather than, you know, a keyboard and a mouse that
being instruments of control,
old.
social control.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Well,
I have
thank
to
you very
interrupt, I'm
much.
afraid.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And we're going to move on, but it's great what you've
Yes, I
done.
do have to kind of get the other two people in, even though it's lovely chatting to you both and listening. So thank you very much, Photosynth Interface. And next up, it's MusicRacken. I love this. Every single thing I've been looking at and thinking, just take my money, whatever it is, take my money. All right, John, you've got somebody else to interview now, and I'm going to pop off for a couple of minutes and then pop back in
Hello.
when you're least expecting it, when you've got into a great conversation. Hello there. I'm going to leave you all to it. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Over to you, John.
Thank you. Well, Marcus, it's great to meet you, and I love everything I've learned about your work. And MusicRacken to me just seems like this polymorphous way of stimulating different pathways to musical expression. So, what inspired you to create the device, or the software environment, and what motivated you? What was the driver?
Well, I collect a lot of virtual instruments. I have a lot of them, so it was natural for me to make an app for MIDI controlling. And I made, just for fun, I made an app for myself. I asked myself the question, like, I have this instrument, what would the ideal MIDI controller look like? And I tested it out, and the answer was like, it really depends on the instrument. It's not the same for every instrument. So I thought, well, let's make it useful for everyone. Everyone can create it themselves, can create their own setup, can create it for the. I just provide tools, a lot of tools, like I use all sensors, all kinds of MIDI effects, and you can send it everywhere. And the user himself can decide what he wants to do with it.
What would you say the main innovation is that's pushing the envelope? I mean, there are a lot of controllers out there, obviously, but what makes yours different, and what's the innovation?
well, a lot of existing, if you have an existing MIDI controller, you basically think about how I have this instrument, I have this MIDI controller, how can I use this MIDI controller to control the instrument? And with Music Rack, and I turned it around. It's like you have the instrument. Now, how would the ideal MIDI controller look like? And well, in the end, it's like the user has to be innovative. I just provide the tools. In the end, it's the user that's creative and innovative and can do whatever my app allows.
Yeah, it's
I
sort
think
of
we'll
like
leave it
the.
there now.
Yes.
John,
Okay.
I'm so
Well,
sorry. I
thank you
feel
very much, and
terrible. You
congratulations.
off. Thank you both for
We're
being very
a bit
patient
time
about
constrained, so
our
we'll move on. But excellent
yes,
work.
our
Thank you.
timing issues. Let's have a look at our third finalist now, and this is Dawn Audio.
Hey y'all, my name is Diego. I'm the CEO and one of the co-founders of Dawn Audio. We're a New Orleans-based music tech startup. And I'm also an artist who loves making music, but who hates the collaboration process in music today. This is because as an individual artist, I have access to immense tools like GarageBand and other digital audio workstations or DAWs, that are software that provide the power of an entire music studio on your computer. But the problem is these incredibly powerful tools actually limit collaboration because there's dozens of them and there's no compatibility. Meaning if I want to work with friends, I actually have to export my song, email it to them, wait for them to download, listen, provide feedback. And that process kills creativity. So we built a tool to address that. Let's take Chris and Malik, two artists living in different cities and using different DAWs. Today, they'd have to email files back and forth. But with Dawn Audio, Chris can cue play and hear Malik's chords. Malik can cue play and hear the drums on Chris's project. Chris can then cue global play. Dawn Audio will stream and synchronize both projects, allowing Chris to make edits to Malik's, Malik to make edits to Chris, and effectively creating a digital music studio accessible by all DAW artists. Thanks.
All right, then you know the drill now. This is the bit where I invite John back on and a creator and then interrupt them just as it's getting good. So let's see if I can do this with slightly more elegance than the last time. Over to you.
So, Diego, this is fantastic. I mean, obviously, this is really needed. And I guess the first question I'd like to ask you is what inspired you to get started with this? Was it issues with your own music making and collaboration? Was it something else?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think in a sentence, the motivation is just kind of wanting to collaborate with friends. I've been a drummer my whole life, as I kind of explained, and I got into music production using these tools like GarageBand about 4 years ago. But whenever I wanted to work on music with my friends, which I think a lot of artists want to do, it was just a super drawn out process. And so it was this understanding that, again, as we've seen, even with the pandemic, like there's a necessity for collaboration for remote work, and yet our industry is kind of falling behind. So wanting to really address that.
So let me just understand, can people work on the same project simultaneously?
Yeah, so
It's
we
like,
use this
like a shared
analogy.
whiteboard, except it's a MIDI environment kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so we use this analogy of like Google Docs or cloud collaboration. So in that case, like if you type a sentence, I can edit that sentence. With Dawn, if you record a guitar lick, I can edit that guitar lick. But it's even though we're using different tools or different digital audio workstations.
Yeah. And how does latency work in your setup? I'm a co-founder of a venture called Farplay, which actually is about latency reduction.
Yeah.
You're probably familiar. And there's obviously compatibility between what you're doing and what the pure latency reduction movement is. But where does latency? I mean, we're talking about the innovations, which is what I'm supposed to ask you, but we're getting into the specifics.
Yeah,
More interesting, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess a lot of the novelty is like we don't do live performance. What we do is live production. So there is an inherent latency of like less than 500 milliseconds. But extensively, our software takes that audio that's coming in from the different sources and synchronizes it. I know I'm getting the key to it. But.
Yep, got it. Fantastic.
Yes.
All right.
I could talk about latency for
Congratulations,
ages.
Diego. It's great stuff.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you both very much. John, thank you also so much as well. Whilst I've got you, I can let you get a word in edgeways with a little bit of thoughts on our entries and finalists for this. What did you think? Was there anything that struck you particularly?
They're all really interesting to me because they all kind of extend the palette of not just music making, but music thinking, music experiencing, you know. So traditionally we love music and then we pour all of our love of music into an instrument, and we spend 10 years of mastering the wooden keyboard on a piano. And here, you know, with something like Music Kraken, it's every instrument, right? So you're not constrained from day one. And then, you know, the whole notion of being able to collaborate on the music creation process in real time and not have to be essentially a software engineer to reconcile the different workstation, you know, environments that you're working in is fantastic. And interface is quite amazing. I mean, I think that we just saw the tip of the iceberg there. I'm sure our friend Zenon has a lot of other things up his sleeve. So it was very exciting for me as an
Brilliant.
innovation guy. You know, I'm a sort of a card carrying innovation guy and have been so for a long, long time. And so seeing all of this kind of blossoming of MIDI innovation is just pure pleasure every year.
Oh, lovely. Thanks so much, John. Thanks for being part of the judging team. And we're going to
Thank
find
you.
out all of the winners later on. Oh, it's a pleasure. So let's move on then to our fourth awards there. And that is, she presses the right button, it's the commercial hardware product. So this is probably the one that you may well have seen some of these things. Let's have a look, shall we, at the entries? Oh, and I can duck the audio like a professional here as we see some of these are well known, some of them innovative, some of them you might think, oh, that looks interesting. I'll take a look at that. And shortly after this, we'll have a look at the 3 finalists. And we're going to invite our judge number 4 to say hello. This just looks like a wish list of things that I would like to magically arrive at my house. And again, that's a massive amount. Congratulations to all the entrants and congratulations to our 3 finalists. Wow, well done, everybody. So we have a judge number 4 for us. Let's see who we've got for the commercial hardware products. I love sort of waiting for these people to join us. Who is it? Say hello. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. So what did you think of this
We're
4th
waiting for
category?
Molt over here. Yes.
Oh, we have 2 judges. Oh,
We have
yes,
2 of
indeed.
us.
Hi.
Yes.
So we've got Moldova and we've got
Michelle
Michelle, is that
Darling.
right? I
Yeah.
see. I don't have you written in my list. I must have written it somewhere else. You know, that kind of 4 a.m. script editing things. Michelle Darling and Moldova, thank you both so much for joining us for number 4, the awards. Would you like to tell us a little bit each about the projects that you are just most proud of doing in the last few years? And we'll start with you, Michelle.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Well, I've been very focused on the education of music technology, and I happen to be at Berklee College of Music in Boston. And we're working on, I'm in the electronic production design department. We're doing, focusing on sound design, electronic music production, and performance, and also new technologies. So, what's really exciting is that we've been building an electronic digital instrument program and having students that come into the college can actually enter the college on new technologies, on electronic music instruments. And so we have a summit coming up next weekend, bringing artists, performers, educators, manufacturers, instrument designers together to kind of share knowledge and perform and present in front of each other to see what is happening in this area. How do we teach the new instruments? How do you build pedagogy around it, and that sort of thing? So it's been
Wow.
very interesting and exciting.
It sounds incredible. Is it available online or is it an in-person thing, or will there be things that people can look at around the world?
I'm sorry to say that it's in person, no online streaming this time around, but we hope to keep doing it every year. So maybe there might be
Well,
opportunities for people to come and to do that in the future.
Well, congratulations on doing an in-person summit. That must be scary and exciting all at once. I hope it goes very, very well. And thank you.
Thank you.
And Moldova, hello there. Do tell us about one of the projects that you're doing at the moment or something that you're proud of.
Hey, sure. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here and to join all these amazing people who are doing extremely innovative things, both judges and finalists. Well, the big project in my life right now is moving. I just moved from San Francisco to Indianapolis, so I'm here at my new dining room table instead of my studio, which is still getting set up, but I have a controller nearby as always, and this is one that I'm excited about because I'm just about to release it. It's like a semi-custom controller that I made with this wonderful company in Argentina called Yaltex, and they have an awesome drag and drop web interface where you can just build your own MIDI controller and by dragging little modules of faders and buttons and things like that, and then you can design your own graphic, which is what I spend most of the time on, putting my own symbol and iconography in there. So excited about that.
Oh, so this isn't even out yet, and we've all had a bit of a sneak preview of it. Thank you so much, Moldova. Again, it's time for me to hurry us all along because we've got an award ceremony to get through, and everyone's being very patient because all of the winners are going to be announced after we've looked at award number 5. But in the meantime, we've got some fantastic finalists videos and interviews to show you coming up very, very soon. We're going to start with, I think it's pronounced Somi.
Hi, we are the 3 founders of Instruments of Things, a music tech company focusing on interaction with sound. And we have developed a technology to turn movement into sound. Or to put it in other words, we have created a one-of-a-kind dance instrument called Somi One, the sound of me.
The heart of Somi One are these motion sensors, which can be worn as wearables and which transform your movements directly into sound. So with Somi One, you can turn your everyday dance gestures into musical expression. The sound can either be generated by the Somi One smartphone app, which offers several different sound presets, or by any MIDI-capable instrument or music software, for example, Ableton Live.
The motion data is received wirelessly with the Somi One receiver. The receiver guarantees extremely fast response times and distances of up to 50 meters. It's really easy to use. Just connect the receiver via USB to your smartphone, open the Somi One smartphone app, choose your desired preset, and start making music via movement.
Yeah, we're really excited to learn more about your project, and Somi One is incredible. We're really excited to have this talk with you. So, first question is just what was the motivation behind Somi One? How did you come up with it?
Yeah, thanks a lot for having us. To make it short, basically, we thought when we started developing Somi One, that basically we have 2 sides. We have the IoT technologies, meaning that we have a lot of sensor technologies available or sensor data. And on the other hand, there are so many electronic musical instruments, obviously, but you need a lot of pre-knowledge to use them. And by using your bioinformation, saying your movements in this case, it's making interaction with music or sounds much more accessible for everyone.
There have been some other products out there that, as you said, sometimes they don't work very well and that sort of thing. Could you talk a little bit about why yours in particular is most innovative?
Basically, as I said, there were some, of course, we are not the first people using motion sensors in general, but usually most other products are using very specific use cases, meaning you have, for example, just a motion sensor for a single hand or for a specific body part. Basically, But our approach is more a top-down approach, meaning that your whole body should be a complete controller. So you basically attach up to 6 motion sensors simultaneously to your body, so to 2 legs, to 2 wrists, and to your head and to your breast, for example. And then you can basically interact with different kinds of, or with any kind of MIDI-compatible software, hardware. So this is another point how it's very innovative, because our receiver hub offers USB MIDI host and device ports, so we can hook it up to any mobile device or to any other MIDI hardware which has a USB port. And it has a traditional or a TRS MIDI port, so you can hook it up with a TRS MIDI adapter to any traditional MIDI hardware.
Okay, let's look at our next finalist. It's so heartwarming to see so many creative ideas just based on MIDI. It's brilliant, isn't it?
Hi, Roger Lynn here, and I'm going to tell you today about a wonderful new product I discovered from my friends at the CME company called Witty Master. And what this is a Bluetooth MIDI interface for any device that has MIDI input and output jacks. And it's ingenious in its engineering. First of all, it's only $59, but it connects of 2 connectors, one that goes into your MIDI output jack and is powered by your MIDI output jack. Then another one, if you want to receive MIDI also, that goes into your MIDI input jack, and it receives its power over a tiny little cable into a jack in the MIDI output jack connector. So it's completely powered by itself, and you don't need to have any batteries or anything like that. And then to use this, it's very simple. They give clear instructions. You just go on your computer to register the Bluetooth device as a MIDI device. And that's done, for example, on my Mac using the Audio MIDI setup just in a few seconds. And what's beautiful about this, as I said, it's only $59. But 2 things that are great about it is, number one, it has very low latency, as low as 3 milliseconds, which is unheard of for a Bluetooth device. The second thing is when I use it with my instrument, which has very dense MIDI streams, there's no slowdown that's noticeable at all. It seems to handle all this expressive MIDI data very well.
And let's hear a little bit more.
Welcome, Thomas, to the interviews for the MIDI Innovation Awards. I'm Moldover. I'm really excited to ask you a few questions about your project, the Witty Core. So maybe you could start by just telling us what was the motivation or the inspiration for this project.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me, and I'm happy to talk with you about our product, the Witty Core. Actually, the motivation behind Witty Core was that we wanted to deliver a high standard in Bluetooth MIDI solutions and really push the industry forward. So the story behind Witty Core is that it's actually the core or the center of our Witty adapters, which started in 2019, which allows anyone to add Bluetooth MIDI to their MIDI devices. So the first purpose was, okay, we wanted to validate the concept and see how the market reacted. And together with the community, we wanted to deliver and improve our product. So in the end, we ended up with a few different Witty adapters. And at that point, we decided, okay, what's next? And the next thing was to create Witty Core. So actually, Witty Core is the center of all Witty technology. It allows any developer, no matter the size or the scale, to access what we believe is the most advanced wireless MIDI technology available today.
Could you talk a little bit more about the innovation? Why is it innovative, or how it's innovative? Mm-hmm.
Of course, I can. Well, first of all, Bluetooth MIDI has been a bit of an uphill battle to bring to the market, simply because people associate it automatically with latency. So we had to work together with the community to validate the technology and also to improve it. One innovative side, which I think is really important, is that it's a 100% community-driven technology. So it was validated by the community and it was improved with the community.
Brilliant. And now we have our third finalist, the wind synthesizer.
Wind synthesizer R1. Synthesizer R1. R1. Running to Z. Computer. Synthesizer R1. R1. Running to Z. Computer. Synthesizer R1. Running to Z. Synthesizer R1.
Okay, and I defy you not to be singing that to yourself over and over again for the rest of your time awake today. Let's hear about the person responsible.
So the first question we have is, what is the motivation behind your product?
Okay. Do I still sound clear to you guys? I will begin. All right. So, well, ordinary people meet more obstacles than they could handle when it comes to musical instrument learning. Some obstacles come from the outside. For example, the sound of the acoustic instruments like guitar, piano, violin, and saxophones is hard to contain and may cause complaints from your neighbors, right? You can choose to go to a park, but this is not always possible, especially during the time of pandemic. Some obstacles come from the instrument itself. It takes a lot of passion to take your guitar anywhere, and some instruments are just too heavy or bulky to move around. Some obstacles come from human themselves, because guitar learning gives you pain in the fingers and the time to practice before you can play your favorite song drains up your patience. And most digital instruments, they are not simple enough. The list goes on and on. We acknowledge those issues, and we decided to create a new form of instrument that is hassle-free to learn, to move, to play, while giving players utmost joy. We hope to make music learning easy and fun.
Tell us more about that, or talk more about how the instrument is innovative.
Okay, so it's about why is R1 is innovative, right? Okay, thank you for the question. So, have any of you ever wondered why R1 has so many fancy features, just like the video showed, but it doesn't feel overwhelming at all? It still comes to you as a simple and intuitive instrument, isn't it? It couldn't be simpler. Well, it would be unfair to say that R1 is just a wind synth with lights, or just a wind synth with motion control, or just a wind synth with horizontal mouthpiece option. They are eye-catching for sure, but R1 has much more layers.
Okay, then let's invite our judges, Michelle Darling and Moldova, back to give us a little bit of feedback on those incredible entries and finalists. My goodness. So was there any kind of themes that you found on the finalists this year? Was there anything that surprised you?
I thought they were just such dramatically different projects and all innovative in their own ways. It was really hard to compare them. You have like the wind synthesizer, which is it's imitating conventional instruments. You have something for developers like the WIDI core, which is only going to work for people who are makers and hackers and builders of instruments like me, or prototyping. And then you have something totally different for dancers or people that want to involve motion control. So yeah, it was just like other judges said earlier, it's the sheer breadth and variety of what we're seeing is incredible and inspiring.
Thanks, Moldova. Michelle, was there anything here that's inspired your thinking towards future electronic musical instruments, MIDI instruments?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, it's been a fascinating process seeing all the entries and the finalists. And one thing that really strikes me is just the is the passion. I think the care that all of the developers and designers are putting into these new instruments. And I think really, if I agree with Moldover, they're all a bit different. They're all quite a bit different at the same time. And I think that one thing that they're all kind of exploring is how to improve the interaction, the users, how do they interact with the sound and music. So whether it's, your body in motion, or the wind controllers, or even, connecting devices through Bluetooth, it feels like it's the next step of our interaction with the sound, which is very exciting to me.
Yeah, it always feels to me like all of these instruments are an attempt to lower the barrier between the brain and the music that's inside. It's like we've got these beautiful symphonies in our brain, and how do we get it out perfectly? Oh, the frustration. Right. Well, thank you so much, judges. Like the earlier awards, your amazing hard work will be reflected in just a few minutes' time now, after our award number 5, where we're going to see the winners. So thank you, Moldova and Michelle Darling. Let's head over to our award number 5. It's the commercial software products. My goodness. Well, just in case you thought this was easy to follow, it's difficult. So let's have a look. We'll just go straight on to our commercial software entrance. I'll just dump the audio there. Again, congratulations to everybody who's been part of this. It really is an amazing place to be. I've really enjoyed looking at all of these new ways to experience music as a player and a listener. There we go. Again, an impressive amount, all of which looks like it's going to be pretty difficult to choose. So let's have a little chat with our award number 5 for our finalists. Congratulations to the 3 of you. Let's just have a little chat with our judge, who is... Dun, dun, dun. Who have we got for our judge?
Hello there. Craig Anderton here.
Hello, Craig. Thank you so much. My goodness, what awesome acoustic tiling we have there at the back. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm getting distracted by all the gadgets in the back and all these bits and pieces. So obviously this is a fantastic area for you. Can you tell us a little bit about why this particular area is one for you to judge?
Well, I mean, everything that I'm seeing today is just mind-boggling. I love the amount of innovation. They wouldn't let me vote for everything. I was very disappointed. I had to actually choose which ones I thought were best. And it's like, well, they're all best. So what do I do now? But anyway, I think that one of the things that really impresses me, all the various transducers, the ways like SOMI, things like that. At one point in my checkered career, I was a staff synthesist for Group Motion Berlin, which was a dance company, and they would have given anything for that. And then for the collaboration tools like, Dawn and things like that. One of my recent projects, I worked on a remix of an unreleased Chuck D song with Brian Hardgroove from Public Enemy. We do a lot of that stuff. And of course, MIDI was crucial for that because we were sending MIDI files back and forth. But we're using Dropbox and, all these other tools that are just like not designed for that. I mean, we weren't like putting back spreadsheets. We weren't exchanging spreadsheets from accounting. We wanted to do musical files. So, I mean, all these things I think are great. And, in terms of, we also get to see some unsung heroes. I mean, people like Mike Kent, who's like a real big driver of the whole MIDI 2.0 thing, and Roger Lynn, who's, everywhere in this industry, whether people know it or not. And all these people are up and coming. So it's just great.
I think it's such a lovely platform because everybody here gets to meet each other, and perhaps some more beautiful, productive musical things are going to come out just from this awards event. So thank you for being part of it. And let's find out a bit more about the finalists that are so hard to choose between. Starting off with, I'm going to go with Annie Moog. It might be Annie Moog. Let's have a look. Okay, let's have a look at what on earth that amazing thing was.
Well, hello, Garrett. It's good to see you. Well, the Animo Z is pretty impressive. I love the way that you've sort of rethought the way to do a synthesizer interface. And I was wondering what kind of inspired you to do that? What did you just wake up one day and said, I think I want to have a totally different kind of synthesizer interface, or what inspired it?
I guess this has been many years in the making. When the initial Animo 10 years ago came out, there was this vision of comets like flying around in space and influencing sound, but then tying that into touch interaction so that it would almost be like you are touching those comets and have this tangible connection to space. And then 10 years later, we realized there was a lot of things that we weren't able to do in the initial version just to the limitations of the hardware platform at that time. And so we looked for all the pieces that could basically be expanded and be reworked, and that is what became Animo Z. In some way, it might actually be closer to the initial vision because a lot of the technical constraints were removed, and we could really work with the third dimension and have those three-dimensional representations of comets in space instead of a two-dimensional projection. So yeah, that's basically what led us to making Animo Z.
Well, I think that it's definitely impressive. I mean, I'm waiting for the one that goes into 4 dimensions, which I think is scheduled for next year's NAMM. But anyway, I'm wondering what do you think is the most innovative aspect?
Regarding Animo Z, what we also did was make a version that runs on macOS. And one of the biggest challenges there was, how do we allow people to integrate this sound engine and this experience inside their DAW, but still have the touch experience? And that is where our MIDI integration came in. So you get the benefit of having all the power of a desktop DAW with the touch interaction of tablets. And that only MIDI made that possible.
Ah, yes, I knew it was Moog. I just knew it. And now let's have a look at fluid chords. Ooh, chord bending. Yes, please. I absolutely loved that. There were helicopter samples. It sounded like it was from the future. Let's hear a little bit about the person
Krishna,
behind it.
welcome back to the MIDI Innovation Awards, and congratulations on the nomination. It's a pretty crowded field, so for you to be in the top 3 is impressive. Although I must say there were a lot of great entries. It was not easy to do the voting. But anyway, I remember Fluid Pitch from last year, which is outstanding, and now you have Fluid Chords. What inspired you to come up with Fluid Chords?
No, thanks, Greg. So with Fluid Chords, we wanted to bring the chord bending sound to the mainstream, right? So there were tools like which allowed you to bend from a 3-note chord to a 3-note chord, but there was no tools which allowed you to bend from any chord to any chord. For instance, from a 3-note chord to a fine note chord. It simply didn't exist. But you could use like an MP, DAW, and like draw notes, like 3 notes here, 5 notes in the next thing, and you can use a pencil tool to literally bend this thing. And it used to be a time-consuming way. It used to take me hours, and but that's the only way to hear how that chord to chord sound will sound, right? Or the other option is you hire an orchestra and you tell them this is the chord, this is the chord, now bend up, right? So so there was no easy way to do it, right? Just like how Fluid Pitch kind of reimagined the pitchman wheel, we wanted to create a very unique tool.
You know, we have a saying in English: necessity is the mother of invention. And it sounds like
Of
that's what was
course.
happening in your case. It was something you needed, so you just went ahead and made it. What would you think is the most innovative aspect of fluid chords?
So yeah, it's this ability to bend from a 3 note chord to a 5 note chord, and also like to bend from a single note to multiple notes. Um, all of this without using the pencil tool, of course,
Right.
I think is the most innovative thing.
Brilliant. Okay, let's go on to our third finalist, GeoShred 5.9. Presumably 5.8 wasn't good enough.
Imagine a new kind of musical instrument. This is GeoShred, an award-winning, fluidly expressive musical instrument that runs on multi-touch devices. It has a performance surface with almost magic pitch rounding algorithms, coupled with expressive physics-based models of musical instruments. Guitars, bowed strings, and woodwinds. And it's a powerful MIDI MPE synthesizer and controller. It's a fusion of Jordan Rudess's performance concepts and powerful organic instruments and effects based on the physical modeling research of Dr. Julius Orion Smith III of Stanford's Center for Computer Research in Music and Acoustics. There are over 100,000 artists from more than 60 countries who perform GeoShred, with 30% of those artists in India. GeoShred.
I mean, it's absolutely astounding, isn't it, what you can do? It's just incredible. Let's hear more about GeoShred 5.9.
So, Pat, congratulations on your nomination for a MIDI Innovation Award. That's quite an honor and quite a
Thank you.
product you have there. And I was kind of wondering, what inspired you to do that? Did you wake up one morning and just go, boy, these iPads sure aren't being taken full advantage of. Let's come up with a cool musical instrument, or how did it come about?
Well, there's a bit of history behind GeoShred's origins. At the present time, GeoShred is really a fusion of Jordan Rudess's ideas about how musical instruments should be performed. And then at Stanford, Dr. Julius Smith, Stanford Karma, has been working on this physical modeling technology really for 40 years. So around 2014, we decided to fuse these technologies together.
Well, what was the initial spark for it? Was it talking with Jordan, was talking with other people, or what?
Yeah, so Jordan had these ideas that musical performance should be fluid, and he really liked the idea of using the glass as a performance surface. And there's some computer magic that we do with the glass so that whatever temperament you're in, if you play, you're always playing in tune, and as you slide, when you end your slide, it drops into a little bucket of being perfectly in tune in the temperament that you are in currently.
Of all the things that are in there, what would you consider to be the absolute most innovative aspect of it?
At this point, the reason we think it's really innovative is, we think that the magic pitch rounding is really an innovative aspect of it, because people who are getting started with it can play in a way that is beautiful and in tune. But also, we've really embraced MPE And so it's a very cost-effective way to get into an MPE controller that you can use with your DAW, that you can use with other instruments. And also it's an MPE synthesizer. And so if you're using an MPE controller like, perhaps a Linstrument or a Seaboard, it's a very cost-effective way to get into using the SWAM instruments, which we've licensed, which are normally very expensive on the desktop, but in GeoShred, they're super, super cost-effective.
I mean, Craig, you have got an absolute nightmare job, haven't you? I just stared at all of these things, thinking, that's amazing, that's amazing, that's amazing. That's why I'm a host and I don't have to do all this judging stuff. I'd be traumatized. I mean, obviously, you're clearly a musically minded person. Is there anything that you're just hoping somebody will invent?
Well, I think that what they're working on now in this category is transcending the limitations of conventional synthesis, the interface. I mean, the first, Jordan Rudess ambushed me at NAMM one time and said, "Oh, you got to see this GeoShred thing." And I'm like, looking at him like, whoa, this doesn't only transcend synthesis, it transcends what you can do with an iPad. And then you've got things like the Animoog Z with the three-dimensional interface. I think that, the fluid pitch and the fluid chords, that's another limitation of synthesizers that's being worked on. And the other thing is that, I'm sort of an and guy. I play guitar and keyboards. I use Mac and Windows. I'm an author and a musician. So I'm waiting for MIDI 2.0 to really come up with a guitar type controller. Although I must say the Linstrument comes pretty close to that. It has that same kind of like feel as a guitar, but it's a keyboard. So there's so much development going on, and the MIDI 2.0 thing, just to mention that briefly, there's a lot of work that's going on in the background right now on that. I mean, people are saying, well, there's not a lot of commercial products yet. It says, well, just wait. The other thing is that it is a protocol which is designed for longevity. So just as like people had no idea when MIDI first happened, no one knew that it was going to control fountains at the Bellagio Hotel in Las Vegas or run Miss Saigon on Broadway, So we don't know what MIDI 2.0 is going to be doing, 30 years from now or whatever. It's very exciting. I'm actually, for 2023, I'm planning on having my MIDI for Musicians 2.0 book out because I think that there will be enough stuff going on by then that it will be pretty exciting. So yeah, this is a great thing. It's a great time.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, Craig. And thank you also to all our judges, finalists, entrants, and of course, you, the audience, for joining us. And thank you for your patience because the judges are now working on their final act of service, which is deciding on those winners. And we have a little 90-second bonus for you. Do you remember the Micro MIDI Nano MIDI history, the potted MIDI history? We saw the first little bit. Well, I found the other little bit now. So let's have a look at MIDI prehistory.
The MIDI Association has two types of members. Individual membership is free to musicians, artists, educators, retail salespeople, DIY Arduino enthusiasts, DJs, game developers, and sound designers. MIDI Association individual members can download adopted MIDI specifications, receive the MIDI message newsletter, access MIDI Association tutorials and webinars, participate in forums, and enjoy all MIDI Association benefits other than those reserved for corporate members. Corporate membership is open to any commercial entity that designs, develops, or produces products that use MIDI technology, and they pay annual dues based on revenue. Members include platform developers like Apple and Microsoft, and musical instrument and software companies such as Ableton, Make Music, Motu, Native Instruments, Nektar, Roland, Roly, Steinberg, Yamaha, and many others. Corporate members develop and vote on new MIDI specifications, initiate new MIDI features, can access software tools for MIDI 2.0 product development, and apply for logo licenses trademarked by the MIDI Association. The MIDI Association corporate members continue to work closely with the Japanese MIDI Standards Committee, and all MIDI specifications.
Oh no, I can't do that.
The MIDI Association has two specifications, initiate new MIDI features, can access software tools for MIDI 2.0 product development, and apply for logo licenses trademarked by the MIDI Association. The MIDI Association corporate members continue to work closely with the Japanese MIDI Standards Committee, and all MIDI specifications must be voted on and adopted by both organizations. Once they're adopted, they're available for download on MIDI.org. The MIDI Association's new logo was designed by acclaimed performance artist Yuri Suzuki and graphic designer Sasha Loeb of Pentagram. A version of this logo and pictogram will be available for licensing by corporate members of the MIDI Association and Japan's Association of Musical Electronics Industry to clearly identify products that incorporate MIDI 2.0 features. MIDI has been connecting products and people for over 37 years, and the new MIDI 2.0 specification is once again poised to drive innovation in music and the arts, just as MIDI 1.0 did in 1984. To join the MIDI Association as either a corporate or individual member, and to find out more about the latest MIDI developments, please visit www.midi.org.
Lovely. Sorry for that technical glitch earlier. I was trying to swap a few things around and accidentally pressed the wrong thing. Luckily, I'm not doing anything particularly important, just a massive MIDI awards ceremony that we're about to announce the winners of. Thank you so much for joining. We're now up to date and the future is in your hands. Well, our hands, the creators, the makers, the hackers, the artists. Let's take the opportunity to also thank our founding sponsors, modern day patrons to the talents that inspire us all. That's F-Note and HXM. Thank you very much to you. And also, can we thank our founding partners as well? That is the fabulous MIDI Music Hackspace, the fabulous MIDI Association, and the fabulous NAMM Believe in Music. We really appreciate your choice to support an event like this. And here are your logos. Yes, the MIDI Innovation Awards. Love what you do by supporting creativity. You're making the world more musical, which can only be a good thing. A little shout out also to Mediaball, who are providing some fantastic back end for us, which is thanks to them that you can see and hear us. All right, let's have a look. It is time, nearly. The judges, I think, are going to be consolidating their decisions. And I think we're going to go over to our winning awards for the first category. I'm just going to check. Are we going to do it? I think we are. All right, then. Let's have a look for our very, very first artistic visual installation project. And our judge, Yuri Suzuki, is going to announce. And the winner is, that's your line, by the way.
Winner is right. So winner is Tap Magic choreo musical interactive carpet. And congratulations for Mandy, Don, and Ronnie, and Nina.
Congratulations there. Well done. And do we know why they've won? Obviously, everybody is incredibly good. I'm not sure what happens next.
Wow.
We're going to get an acceptance speech. Make it short, but well done.
Thank you.
Well
Thank
done.
you. Thank you. So thank you, Yuri, as a judge. It's an honor to receive this. Of course, thank you, Media Association, NAMM, and the Hackspace. I would like to, of course, thank my collaborators who brought the magic of the carpet, Lonnie and Don. It's been great to do this collaborative and interdisciplinary project. And yeah, I guess also looking at the other projects, it's just so interesting. I would love to meet you all, hopefully next year and in the conference and share our love of music making and music controllers. So thank you again.
Thank you, both of you, and congratulations. Well done. Let's go into our next award, and we're going to be doing the software prototypes winner. That's going to be our judge, John Ko. Thank you very much, winners. And let's get our judge. This would actually be judge number 3, but for everybody watching, it's judge number 2. So well done for getting
3
the
is
memo
2
there,
today.
John. Well, thank you. Are you ready to do your winner is? I'll get my applause ready.
I was born ready.
Okay, and the winner is?
The winner is Music Kraken.
Well done there,
Thunderous
Music Kraken.
applause.
Are you there?
Let's see. I feel like I'm on stage with an Oscar, but
Thank you very much.
oh, there you go. Okay, Marcus Brew. Yeah,
This is awesome. Thank you very
congratulations.
much. So
Yes.
I also want to thank, special thanks to my wife and kids. They're watching upstairs. I don't think my kids understand anything. So danke vielmals.
Ja, ausgezeichnet.
I wanna say- I want to say special thanks to my parents, my friends, my family, guys at that manufacturer, of course, the MIDI Association, Music Hackspace, NAM, and the judges, and whoever voted for the app. And special thanks to all the wonderful users of my app. You're great. Thanks.
Excellent. If I
Oh,
had a
that's
virtual statue, I would hand it to you through the screen.
Thanks.
There we go. Well done. Thank you both. Thank you very much. And congratulations to another winner. Well, we have 3 more awards to offer. This one is going to be for the hardware prototypes. So that I think is going to be the fantastic Kate Stone. Kate, are you there to announce the winner? Oh, it's getting more and more slick each time. I've got 2 more chances to get this. Kate, are you there? Do we have you?
Sorry, yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, okay. I was going to do some hold music for you. All right. Are we ready for the winner?
I'm not seeing where I see where the message is to know.
Oh, I'll just keep going with the hold music then. So,
Yeah, I don't know how I see. Can someone tell me?
could somebody please let Kate know who the winner is for, or me, actually? You can let either of us know. We can just talk about other things for a little while. Ah, I think I can see here. Can you see the note for the winner? I can't see the chat from here. Dun dun
I can't
dun.
see it up on my screen. I'm sorry. I'm just
Oh,
creating
don't
more
worry.
drama.
It is very dramatic and cool. Okay, I can see in the chat a massive wall of things that
Okay, I can
think
now
this
see it.
is.
I can now see it.
Yep.
Can we do a drum
Can you?
roll
Okay,
or
hang on.
something?
Let me give you a. It's the
And
suspense.
the winner,
Okay.
the winner is DigiGurdy.
Congratulations, DigiGurdy. We got there in the end. Let's see if we can bring our winner up on screen for a live congratulatory lap of honor. Nope.
Hello.
Gone. Okay. Well,
Hello.
congratulations. Oh no, we can hear but not see you.
I'm here. Okay. Hello.
Don't worry, you still get to keep the award.
At
It's all
last.
right.
Thank you.
It's
Do I still have
yours.
it? Thank you.
Congratulations.
It's a great.
I think they're all
I'm
going to be
very
delivered
honoured.
by
Thank you
hand.
very much indeed. You put a lot of work into this. And can I just
Oh.
thank a whole community of people who live in the hurdy-gurdy world who've given me a lot of advice, because I'm not a musical instrument player, so I actually had to learn music theory before I could even start to design this. So it's been a massive learning curve, all of which is good. And
Oh, and you know, obviously
hopefully I'll come
rewarded
back
for
in
that.
your commercial hardware section one day. You never know. Hopefully that's the plan.
Well, you're in the right place. You've got all of these incredibly
Yeah.
influential and interesting people watching, and they've just seen you win an award. So congratulations.
Well, I need to
All your
meet.
hard
I do
work has
need to
paid off.
meet some of you guys. Actually, I need advice. So that's
Oh,
why
brilliant.
I'm here. Actually, thank you.
Well, if that isn't a call to action, I don't know what is. Congratulations, DigiGurdy. And I think that means we've got our 4th of 5 awards left. And this is our judges, Michelle Darling and Moldova. Hopefully they're there. Congratulations again, John. You can now turn off your camera. You've had your award now. You don't need another
Thank
one.
you.
We'll see you soon. All right. Hello there, Moldova and Michelle Darling. I have to use both names because I think it's a brilliant. It's like Moldova is one name, so we need to get everybody's names correct. Are you ready for your and the winner is Sting? Let's go for that. And the winner is.
And the
Are
winner
you going to say
is.
this in unison?
Show me
Michelle's
one.
got it. Show me one. Yay.
Show me one.
Oh, Somi won.
Henrik,
Well done, Somi
come
won.
forward.
One.
That's Henrik.
Congratulations. You are the winners. Let's see if we can get somebody up on screen. I don't know. This is quite exciting, isn't it? We're waiting for a blank screen, but it's fantastic to see everybody being celebrated. And as I say, the people watching, we're all kind of massive music technology fans. And so this is just, even as an entrant, you've had the opportunity to get your name and your idea or your project or your actual product in front of people who can really make a difference. So well done to all of you. And
Okay,
hello
I'm
there,
here, right?
congratulations. Congratulations. Yes,
Oh,
you've
that's
made it. Well
that's feedback.
done.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. We are very honored that our product Zombie One made it. So I'm also speaking in the name for Hendrik and Nico. Yeah, thanks to everyone who voted for us. Thanks to the Media Association and to the jury. And I also want to say thank you to everyone who helped us realizing Zombie One. So to all musicians, artists, producers who worked with us, tested our product, and gave us so much feedback. And yeah, and also thanks to everyone who backed our project at Kickstarter and yeah, made it reality in the future. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, well done. Thank you so much. And congratulations, Somi One. And thank you, wonderful judges. We love you very much. You had a very hard job and you did incredibly well. Well done. All right. My goodness, it's time for the very last award of our ceremony. And it is the commercial software. So that's going to be Craig Anderton. It's Craig's there. And here we go. And, oh, hang on. We've got lots of people turned up here. The winner is...
And the winner is Fluid Chords.
Fluid Chords, congratulations. Who we got to accept the award on behalf of Fluid Chords?
Thank you
Hello
so
there.
much.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I really want to thank my, we are a very small and dedicated team. I want to thank my team, development team in India, Rishi, Sugandh, and Israel, Eyal, Gal, and at Pitch Innovations, we strive to push the boundaries of what's possible using MIDI, right? A fluid pitch, reimagine what can be done using the fluid pitch, using the pitch bend wheel. And with fluid chords, we, trying to bring in a new sound, new possibility, and you combining both MIDI and MPE technology. We are really happy, and this I really feel that like winning Media Innovation Awards twice is kind of like the win for the jury itself, because it really shows that the judges are they really their top priority is just the innovation, and I'm really thankful to you guys. Thanks so much. And I just want to congratulate all the finalists who made it here, and Ani Mugzi and GeoShred, all these people. We I'm really thankful. Thanks so much.
Oh, well done. Oh, that's such a touching way to end. Thank you so much. And congratulations. You're all incredibly worthy winners and such amazing finalists as well. So well done. Thank you so much. And thank you, Craig, as well. Again, another judging. Well done. Well, my goodness, that nearly
And thank
brings
you,
us-
LJ, for doing this live streaming thing that takes a certain amount of courage, you know? You did
Oh,
good.
thank you. Yes, it does. But we've got there. We're nearly at the end. And winners, we actually have a special surprise in the form of a VVVIP joining us online to congratulate us with his own words. Lawrence, I believe you're going to come and say hello from the Media Association. Is that right? Are you going to hop on? Are we going to see the face of the legend?
Hello,
We are.
everybody.
Hello. How are you?
I don't like being on camera, LJ.
We have been
I've been
blessed
set
with
up,
your
but that's
presence
okay.
today.
Thank you. So I'm all the way down here from New Zealand where it's still dark. Really want to congratulate all of the entrants. They were fantastic. Just what a great set of innovations that have been put forward this year. And really special congratulations to the winners, and thanks to the judges who all just jumped in and helped us to figure this all out, making these impossible decisions. I also want to say that on behalf of the MIDI Association, we've got some great stuff coming up here very shortly. For anyone in the industry, you'll know that NAMM is happening next week. I'm getting on an airplane tomorrow. First time in a couple of years that I'm going to be traveling out of New Zealand. So, and we'll be doing a special awards presentation at NAMM for the winners. We're trying to make it as special as we can. It's hard to deal with supply chain of getting things to give out, but we'll do something, and it'll be a blast. So anyone that is coming to NAMM, please find the MIDI Association booth. There's going to be a lot going on. We have areas set up for all sorts of things, including the newly announced MIDI fund that we're doing in conjunction with NAMM to raise money for really great, worthy places that we're going to be putting money to play into the community to help with things like MIDI and music education, MIDI being used for music therapy, and all sorts of great programs like that. And we'll also have Studio 108, was what we're calling it. It's going to be in room 108 in NAMM, and we'll be doing some various live streaming and demonstrations of different MIDI Innovation Award entrants and MIDI Association member products, and just trying to have a good time with all of that. So.
Brilliant. Thank you, Lawrence, for a
How's
fantastic
that?
roundup. It was
My
brilliant,
pleasure.
done brilliantly. And as we should get a round of applause as well. Why not? Yay, brilliant. Okay, well, everybody, that's it for this year's MIDI Innovation Awards. You've all been amazing. Thank you so much for keeping me company. And thank you also for your time and attention. It's a very special thing, and we value it greatly. So we wish you so much love and power for the summer, and that your hearts are full of music. Please do contact the MIDI Innovation Awards team if you enjoyed any part of the event. They would absolutely love to hear from you. I've been LJ Rich. I live online at This Is LJ Rich on Instagram if you want to say hi or book me for virtual or in-person events. And congratulations finally to everyone who took part. Thank you to the AV team who put the videos together, and of course Mediable for providing the live stream back end. And once again, our sponsors Music Hackspace, NAMM, and the MIDI Association for helping to celebrate innovation by supporting these awards. So this completes the closing ceremony. I'll see you online, and I look forward to seeing you in person sometime too. Live long and prosper.